Yo, what's up? It's Devin, senior editor at Bloom. Today we're going to do another edit breakdown for you. Today we're going to dive deep into our Jetboil Spec video that we shot last year. We're going to get into the details of the effects and transitions and the specific edits that I did for this video. To give you a little bit of a background, we wanted to shoot a spec product lifestyle video and we didn't really know what product to choose. So we were just like looking online and we are like, well, we want to do like something outdoors. So we found Jetboil. I think we found it on the REI website and we are just scrolling down the product list and we just found Jetboil and we thought like the colors pop, the design, and just the way that it's compact and just on the go. We thought it would be a cool product to shoot for this specific project. So this video is a shorter video. It's around 45 seconds long. We didn't really want to make it super long. We wanted to make it short and fast and impactful and to show the application of the product while telling the story of where these two hikers were going. Basically, we came up with the idea of these two hikers who are out in the cabins. So we drove up to the North Shore and we stayed at the Patagonia cabins, which was one of our first locations of the shoot. And basically throughout the video, you'll see just the different spots that they were at on their hike before they ended at their last location where they were using the Jetboil. So I'm just gonna play 15 seconds of it and I'm gonna stop where I see an edit where I just wanna explain a little bit more about what I did. Okay, so just the first 15 seconds, like it's pretty fast moving pace, and that's just exactly how we wanted to do it. We wanted to do at this beginning part just to show like they're getting ready to go on this hike. So, you know, clipping up this backpack, we wanted to make it super quick. The backpack, zipping up the Jetboil, and just like taking it on this trip. And we had a car planned in the storyboard, but we didn't know that they had such a cool looking car with a canoe up on top. So like that was very clutch for them to have and very aesthetic to the video. So I just showing them packing up their vehicle. So this was kind of a cool shot. We set up the tripod in the back seat looking out towards the trunk. We were able to get a perspective of them putting their things in the vehicle, which was a very interesting angle and yeah, one of my favorite shots of the project. For this shot, we wanted to get the vehicle just moving fast, like they're headed towards somewhere. And this is actually a filter on the camera. It's the anamorphic filter from the Polar Pro series that we have. We have a Polar Pro matte box where you can stack filters. So we had an ND filter and a anamorphic filter, which gives it that blue streak on the headlights. So kind of adds a little bit of a cinematic effect that a lot of people use. We had to get this drone shot to establish where they are and to show the environment that they're in, to get the trees and the creek. So we drove past this little creek, which was a place where we just flew up the drone and got them driving. And then basically for this shot, we wanted to just have them be more natural. So we wanted them to just start singing while we had a car mount on the side of the window. Ideally, we wanted to do it frontward facing, but there was a lot of glare, so we just rolled down the window and framed it this way, which wasn't ideal, but we just worked around it and still came out pretty fire. I used the 8mm fisheye lens that I bought from LaShawn, and it was cool to use this to get different angles and distortion and movements with the look. I think that the fisheye lens is trending, more people are using it nowadays, so wanted to get this in the video to make it more, to make the style look modern in today's videos. So we used that for this kind of car passing scene, which was really dope. And then basically like I kind of cut a lot of stuff out, was like, all right, we just need to like get to the hike and to show the product. So I didn't want to do too much of the lifestyle. Wanted to show the product as much as we can. So have them opening the trunk and picking up the Jetboil and then straight into the hike basically. And I thought it was cool to do like more of a follow tracking shot. So I wanted them to walk past me while I was coming at the other side, and I wanted to track the Jetboil bag so you can kind of see the logo right when it comes into frame. So that's what I did here. And then basically what I did, I had a Nishika N800 or 8000. I think it's 8000, but it's a 3D film camera, so I just carry that with me on the shoot all day, and I was just snapping photos, and I wanted to get a lot of product shots. So in this effect right here, I basically just used the film photos and just stacked them on each other. I matched the first photo with the bag in this clip wherever it landed in the middle of the frame. So then I just thought it'd be cool to do a match cut and do like a little swirl with all the film photos just to kind of keep it a little bit engaging. So basically we took this at the waterfall, and then if you just go forward, the photos just kind of turn all the way around back to the center. And then it just flashes to the next scene, which is this little lookout on the trail towards the waterfall. So I wanted to do like this cool perspective where, all right, they're like making their way to the waterfall. So they stopped at this lookout, which was just a tripod shot. And basically I want to keep it fast moving, so I thought like adding some motion blur. This is just a slow shutter effect that I shot of the trees in the sky so I could like overlay it on top of the footage. Then it cuts to this whip pan / crash zoom to the waterfall, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to like, all right, make it fast moving, but then they're gonna end up at the waterfall right after this. So it just cuts to using the product at the waterfall. So we're at this waterfall, and we wanted them to use the Jetboil flash canister at the waterfall, which basically they can take water from the waterfall and boil it. And we wanted them to do coffee or tea. We ended up going with tea. So one of the shots on the storyboard was to have her take some of the water from the waterfall and boil it. So we had this shot of establishing where they are at the waterfall. We wanted to get the perspective of the canister, so we put a GoPro inside the canister while she was scooping water from the waterfall. We wanted to get the waterfall in the background, so got this shot, and it cuts into the GoPro with getting some water inside, which is a really cool perspective because the light hits the top of the water, adds a little bit of that shimmer glow. And for this effect coming next, it's a transition. I was like, oh, well, if I can I thought of this in post. So basically, once the water is like fully engulfed and it's starting to get black, I wanted to do a gradient wipe. So that's what I did. Basically, the gradient wipe, you can work from top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, and choose the direction. And basically, it'll just like do a little wipe, dissolve into the next cut, which is turning on the canister and the Jetboil, starting that up. So I added some sound design to this. I can play it back. So you can hear like the waterfall in the background. You can hear the water submerging into the cup. You can hear the flick of turning on the burner. We get the application of using it and boiling the water. And then we wanted to get them just with the product right beside them, and they're just enjoying a cup of tea on the side and just smiling and laughing, showing that they're having a good time. And I think basically from here, we wanted to rush into using the actual burner for food. So we just cut a bunch of different scenes that were along the hike. So in the trees, on this drone across the bridge with the water coming down from the river, and showing them along Lake Superior. So for this specific location, we found at one of the campsites, and they just had this little island right off the shore. And basically a funny story, we're like, well, do we just do it at this campsite, or do we go across the water to get over to this island? And we're like, well, we first gotta go check it out. And so I just went over there and checked out if there are any like cool spots on that piece of rock. And luckily we found this like little platform area that was perfect for using the Jetboil and cooking the food. It had this nice overlook with the shoreline in the background. I was like, yeah, this is it. So yeah, we got this drone shot of them walking towards it. We're getting towards the end here, but basically just all these cuts. And we wanted to get this opening shot of them showing the product and turning on the product. So these shots are really cool because you actually get to see like the orange and the logo and the different things of the product that you can use, all these different utensils and the bag that they have right in front of them. So I had a lot of fun coloring this project because it was honestly a nice kind of overcast day, and it was just fun to color, to get some of these bright, vibrant colors of the greenery, the environment, so the orange and the yellows and the warmness of this whole video. So this scene, we wanted to show them using the burners, and we had steak and asparagus and mashed potatoes. So actually cooking a meal together using the Jetboil and using these over the shoulder shots. And basically for this next scene, I wanted to show the different applications from a top-down angle. So I have like a top-down angle of the asparagus, the mashed potatoes, of the steak, and they just kind of slide through. I just did a kind of a mask of each video, and I just animated them inside the frame. So if you play it back real quick. So yeah, so basically I just took the best shots of them cooking the food, and I just animated them in and showing them that they're pretty much finished and they're about to plate it up and eat the food. So after this, I basically do a flash. I love to use my flash and my burns. I'm trying to get away from using the flash and burns, but sometimes it does add a little bit of a nice touch to it to transition from scene to scene. And I do a little bit of a whip pan right here, and a slow zoom to show them that they're still cooking. And at the end, it's just an establishing shot of this area that they are. Like I said, the shoreline's right there. They're eating their food. The Jetboil is right next to them, so you can see the product. I thought this was a beautiful composition to like end the video. So in our first version, we actually wanted to have a graphic animation that popped up and said peak to plate, but we thought it was a little bit too distracting. We just wanted to do a slow zoom out and just end with the logo. So that's pretty much the edit breakdown right there. Like I said, it was literally like 45 seconds. So it was really fun editing this project, very simple to edit. And I think what people don't really see is all the pre-production that went into this. So, you know, we had to get the models and get the location and do a storyboard and get all the props and everything needed for the shoot to make it come out like this. And I know it's very simple, but it makes it easier on the editing side to have everything prepped beforehand. So like we basically put this together pretty quick in like a day or two right after the shoot. Like it didn't require a lot of time to edit because we knew what it was going to look like in the end. So yeah, I enjoyed this project a lot. It was really fun. I think it was an eye-opening moment for our team and the way that we work together in the projects that we want to work on in the future, more product lifestyle based. I think we had a lot of fun going on this trip. You know, we stayed overnight, and surprisingly, it was the most seamless shoot. There was like no pressure, maybe because it was Spec and wasn't like a client shoot, but nonetheless, it was one of the most coolest shoots we did to end the year last year. Yeah, I'm super excited to work on future projects that we have and to continue showing you all of our amazing projects that we do. I'll see you on the next edit breakdown. Peace.